Get on the box.
Hello. I'd like to thank everyone for coming up on stage. You're all fearless.
If you could hold it a little more in front of you, we'd hear it.
Yeah? All right. I want to say thank you to all the men and women up here and that young kid who are fearless to come up here and speak in front of you guys. You guys are brutal. I love it. I need you guys. I'm a 5th generation New Hampshireite. My family's been waiting for you since the Civil War. That wasn't funny. We're dying here. We're dying. My 17-year-old daughter, I got 5 daughters, by the way. She's 6'3". The most beautiful red hair you've ever seen in your entire life. She'd stare at you, and you were scared shitless, because she was so pure of heart. My family is the Francoeur family, which means true heart. And we've been in New Hampshire for a long time, holding space for you guys to get here. I've been waiting for the Army to show up. We got the opportunity that we have never had since my family came here. There's a war going on. There's a war of consciousness. There's a war of ignorance. There's a war of sleeping little children in adult bodies. You guys are fat. You're drunk. You're a bunch of drug addicts. Okay? You go to the doctor and you do what they tell you because they're there to kill you, by the way. Because they killed my 17-year-old 6 weeks ago. It's the second attempt they made on her, and they got her the second time. I've been fighting for my life, for all my children, to get to the point where they can have children. She was given the vaccine, and she was dead within a week.
Oh my God.
The first time was the MMR when she was 2 years old. She died in my arms. But I was medically trained. I was ready. I knew what to do. I got a bathtub full of water, and I put all the ice in that bathtub, and I brought her back to life. Did CPR, and my daughter was alive. I got a big trash bag of ice, and I brought her to the hospital. And they fucking wanted me to wait in the waiting room. I fucking broke the door down at the hospital and got my daughter in the hospital because she was dying from the MMR vaccine that she had 3 hours before. There's a war on the people. And it's not the government that's the problem, it's you guys. Because you're weak, and you're ignorant, and you're afraid. And I say that with love. Because I was afraid too. Until they finally got one of my daughters. We got this guy who came here. I know you don't like him, but he's talking about it. And you know what? Let's get him and Trump on the fucking stage and talk about it. Our children are dying. Every fucking libertarian, join the Democratic Party, get this fucking guy on stage so we can have him and Trump going at it and talk about it. I don't give a shit who wins. But guess what? 50 cents on every dollar in this state comes from the feds. And I can prove it. I have first-hand knowledge. And you know when you go into a court and you feel that shit in your stomach? It's called cognitive dissonance. Because you're walking into a fucking gunfight with a pocket knife and you guys think you know what you're fucking doing. And you don't. Because I go in a courtroom with 25 cops and we spend 4 hours going back and forth with the judge. And you know the problem? It's the executive branch. It's the prosecutors. It's the cops. It's the ones who are inciting you to have a fight because you guys are so busy looking to fucking mix it up. Which is cool, and I like that, and that's why you guys are here. But let's get someone in the White House who has the pedigree to at least have the conversation. And stop this shit. So your kids and my kids don't have to go in a courtroom and fight for themselves for years on end. You know, one last thing. When my daughter, Sophie, was 7, I put all my effort into her. She became autistic because of this. It took me 6 years to get her to put her clothes in her dresser. And you know what happened a month later? The fucking cops showed up at my house in the middle of the night when I was sleeping with my 4 daughters in bed, and they took me away. And people say, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. And I'm like, don't be sorry for my loss. Be sorry that my daughter's protector was taken away from her 7 years ago. And I spent the last 7 years fighting in a courtroom to protect my daughters. I almost lost one to the gender manipulation, my oldest. Her name was Jules. She's the most beautiful girl you've ever seen, woman now. And she called herself Augustus Caesar because she was trying to be the man of the house because I wasn't there. Hormone therapy. Blockers, hormone blockers, testosterone. She was 14 fucking years old. You know what? I broke my restraining order. I went to my daughter and I told her that she wasn't me and to cut that shit out, and she stopped. But what did they do? They gave the vaccine to all my girls and one of them died. You guys get together. You know, yeah, we're practicing, we're fighting with each other, we're getting our shit together, but let's get together. Let's get this guy in fucking Washington who showed up here, showed us the respect that New Hampshire's the first in the nation, because we're the first in the nation. I'm a fifth generation New Hampshireite. This is my country, and I have to put up with those other 49, and I'll do it because 50% of the money comes here, whether you guys like it or not. So let's get organized, let's get together, let's decide amongst ourselves to do something in this state of 1.3 million people and fucking take over the world, because the administrative or the executive branch of the United States government is the military of the world. And we in New Hampshire, in this room of about, I don't know, 200 people, actually have the power to take back the greatest force in the world by bringing consciousness that we're killing our own kids and we're eating our own young. Thank you for listening to me. And just...
Well, you're all about to hate me, man, because you might be a captivating guy, but I think you're completely fucking insane. I think you're completely fucking insane. And I think all of you who want to associate libertarianism with anti-vax bullshit, you can do it, but you won't get me along for the fucking ride, because it is bullshit. I have a degree in physics, I've gone through the science, I have looked at it, and anyone who wants to bring the fucking facts here can get with me, and you know I'm happy to take an unpopular position when there is one, and this is the correct position. The vast majority of vaccines work, they save lives. I don't know what happened to your daughter, man, and I'm sorry to be harsh to you on stage like this, because I am sorry. That's a terrible thing. Terrible.
You gotta get sober.
I'd be happy.
You gotta get fucking sober.
Yeah, sure. Bring it, man. Let's have a factual discussion. All right, so I'm sorry that your daughter's dead, but you're not going to believe zero. No counter argument.
It's not about anti-vax.
Put the fucking mic
It's
down.
not anti-vax.
Put the mic down.
Make me. This is my fucking country. It's called New Hampshire.
Get him off, Constance. Get him off.
These people are here to New Hampshire.
Get him off.
No. Just listen.
This is not.
Let me respond. I'm not looking for your opinion. I'm not looking for your opinion. I'm not anti-vax. I just want the conversation to be
You said
public.
elect Robert Kennedy.
No, I didn't.
Discussion
I
about
said
vaccine.
have the discussion.
Zero. Get off the stage, loser.
Fuck you. Come on. You want to bring my daughter back?
I'm sorry your daughter's
You
dead.
just called me a loser.
Yeah.
You hear that? I'm not going to acquiesce to this. I'm not going to acquiesce to this. This is how we treat
like
people.
a loser.
I wasn't looking to compete. I was just sharing the truth.
Where's Sean?
No, look at your mother.
Listen. I'm also...
If you say your daughter died because a magical god struck her out of the sky, it doesn't mean you endorse delusions.
You're being aggressive. You need to stop. Stand down.
Get Jeremy out of the
Let's do it. Let's do the podcast. Let's bring the facts. Anyone, anytime. You know I'll go on any show.
Yeah,
because
people
you're behaving
vote
like
me.
one.
It's
Because
not
you're
the
behaving
same
like
as being
one.
violent.
I'm sorry. How many times do I say? How's in Israel, man? You've lost control, dude. You've lost control. I'm sorry that your daughter's dead. I've said it multiple times. Nope.
No. You need to
I'm not
step
gonna
off the stage. Okay. That's not how we wanted this to end. We have a celebration.
You also over time. That was like 10 minutes. Follow the fucking rules, loser.
So I think that we were kind of set up here because he has a very sad story and somebody put him on the list. But this is not the rant. This is not the place to have this discussion.
Just shut up and be quiet and listen.
Puberty
Get
girls
off
are-
the stage! Off the stage! You're the one who, I follow rules when I'm drunk. I follow rules when I'm drunk. You can't follow rules when you're sober. Loser. Loser. Do we have rules or not? Do we have rules or not? Get them off. No. Okay, but you use, that's what you use for. Okay.
We'll figure it out. Not him. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry for his kid. It's okay, AJ. This was, you know, and I know a lot of people walked out. A lot of people are anti-vaxxers. You know, everybody has a story, like we said earlier.